Alright, Ankirai down, Onyxia down, it's time for BlackWing Lair. I love how you enter this raid through Blackrock Mountain. Not only does this mountain have Blackrock depths, lower Blackrock Spire and upper Blackrock Spire, but also it has Molten Core and BlackWing Lair. What an insanely content-filled mountain. Let's hop straight into the first boss and talk about Razor Gore the Untamed. Once again, I'll be going through the raid without any prior knowledge, and I will talk about the mechanics that I happened to figure out. So, you enter the room and there's all these dragon eggs on the floor. There is a pedestal with an eye on it on one side of the room, and it seems players can interact with it to mind control the boss. They then walk up to the dragon eggs and remove them from the field. While this is going on, mobs are spawning in all corners of the rooms and we need to take them out quickly. Fortunately, they all seemed incredibly weak. I believe there was also a swap required on the person mind controlling the dragon. However, I wasn't entirely sure why the swap needed to happen. Probably just some stacking debuff or something if I had to guess. So, all the eggs are gone and Razor Gore himself becomes hostile. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to tell you what he did besides some fire breath ability, as we nuked him extremely quickly. Alright then, we proceed into the next room and immediately find the next boss laying on the floor. Meet Velestras the Corrupt, if I pronounced that correctly. This dragon starts as a friendly unit until a member of our raid starts some RP events that wake him up. It's interesting to note that Lord Victor Nefarius calls him a little red worm. I'd like to think this is a reasonably large dragon, but I am ready to be proven wrong. The dragon then wakes up and we start going ham on the DPS, and when I say ham, I truly mean ham. We seem to have some sort of buff on us that doesn't have us burn resources when we use our abilities. At least I was able to cast without any mana being taken away from me. There probably are way more mechanics going on, but once again, as will be a recurring trend in this video, unfortunately, we burned the boss down before I was able to figure out much more. So, little red worm guy is dead, and we move on. We now enter a section with a lot more trash mobs that we need to clear through. Not particularly hard, just a bit of a time investment. One interesting room that we do enter is one with a lot of traps all over the room. You can brute force through it with all these traps just firing away, but you can also have a rogue sneak in and disable the traps. I quite like this as it adds a cool incentive to take a rogue along. Class dependency might not always be a fun thing, especially when it adds to the group finding time. But small bonuses for bringing certain classes along while not requiring them baseline is a fun way to design content. We make our way into the next room and find Broodlord Lash Layer. So, does this boss just lay people's eyelashes? Is he some sort of beauty expert? Maybe he can give me some fashion advice. My gnome would surely appreciate that. Mechanically, I have no idea what happened. He died super fast and all I was able to notice were some ads spawning in the room that were just melting due to our insane AoE damage. Ahead in the next room is some trash followed by another boss. The bosses are really tightly packed in this one and I love it. While I did very much enjoy the massive scope feeling of clearing Ankirai as a one-time thing, this raid in BlackWing Lair feels so much more replayable as it's just boss into boss into boss and it's nice. So, can you guess what type of enemy the next boss is? Well, if you guessed turtle, you are indeed correct. But no, it's actually a dragon called Firemaw. Now, I've learned that Firemaw, alongside some other bosses, has a mechanic that I needed an Onyxia scale cloak for. It is supposed to reduce the damage I take from this ever-stacking fire damage you can see on all of the character bars in the raid. However, because our DPS was once again insane, Firemaw died before it became an issue at all. Yes, some people may have died, but the kill came in smoothly anyway. More stepping out of the fire and clearing trash ahead, there are some annoying mobs immune to shadow damage. Well, I guess I get the chill. Ahead of us are a bunch of large stairs, and this made me realize that this entire time we have been climbing up. It's such a cool feeling to me that we started in the depths of Blackrock Mountain, then we climbed into the spire to take out some bosses, only to then take a teleporter up even higher and now start our final climb into the very top of Blackrock Mountain. It's such a cohesive and fun experience. I have never experienced an MMO location even close to this. Next up are two bosses that need to die at roughly the same time. A mechanic that has been used a ton in Guild Wars 2, so one that I am very comfortable with. We are told we need to split up, and I was tasked with taking down Ebonrock. I would not be able to tell you the difference between these two dragons, even though corporate keeps telling me that these are different. We then swap some damage over to Flamegorer to make sure they die simultaneously, and we clear the encounter. Next up is one of the bosses that I have heard can be a real pain. I am talking about a boss called Chromagus, who seems to be a Cerberus-inspired dog. I have been told that this boss has different mechanics, different abilities, based on the random roll when opening the raid. However, once again, I was not able to learn much more than that because the boss just kind of exploded. So, one more staircase, and we make our way to what seems to be an open plan throne room. I am told that I need to stand behind the chair during a specific moment because it helps me not get one-shot by some mechanic due to my lack of the previously mentioned cloak. We take down hordes of Dragonid mobs until finally Lord Victor Nefarius makes his presence known in his true black dragon form. I hate saying this, but this boss, just like many of the bosses before, was nothing more than a target practice dummy to my raid group. We took barely any damage and melted him in a matter of minutes. Mechanics were most likely there, but not visible to my eyes. Now, all that's left is the loot, which I'll tell you all about in the live section of this video. That's coming up right now. Alright, welcome to the live part. Now, unfortunately, while I was doing the raid, I was very sick. I had trouble even getting out of bed. You know, I had spent the entire previous day before that in bed, and I'm glad that WoW is a fairly low APM, low brain power game. At least Classic is, especially when you're playing DPS and stuff. So, yeah, I haven't yet seen the footage, but I've just spent the past... Well, I was sick for like a full week, and then I had like another full week where I was just coughing all over the place still, so I still couldn't record. So it's been like 2 weeks or something since I played BlackWing Lair, but now finally I feel properly recovered where I won't have to edit out, you know, like a million coughs, and I can actually properly focus again. So, let's talk about the loot. Now, I had a bit of an issue. Apparently there was a loot reserve that closed like 24 hours before the run. Now, I have grown accustomed to the loot reserves being something that opens up when you're about to go in. You select something and you go. So I had like an entire list in a notepad, like I want this, and this, and I was going to look at, you know, which ones were reserved, which ones weren't reserved, which one I had the highest chance of getting. So I had everything prepared in a notepad. But apparently I missed the window to reserve loot, so I couldn't get any of the reserved loot, which is a bit unfortunate. However, remember, I had a rule for myself, and that rule was that I wasn't allowed to purchase any gear using reels unless I had cleared the raid. And as you have just seen in the footage, I have now cleared the raid. So that means we can bring our draconian bindings that we purchased all those months ago, years ago at this point it feels like, which are going to give us the gloves, or the wrists actually. And then also over here, I did pick up the draconian gloves and the draconian boots, which are 3 of the 4 pieces you can buy using reels. There's one last piece I can purchase, and then the rest you have to get through other acquisition methods, like doing BlackWing Lair. And I think there's one in like the final world boss I haven't tried yet, Prince Thunderon, which I'm also looking forward to doing rather soon. So let's actually go ahead and spend these. So I was looking at this setup here, and oh, one kind of funny thing, by the way, is I was gonna try and look into this a little bit before like wrapping up the initial recording, and just have like a post commentary section even for this, because I wanted to like wrap things up and go back to bed. But apparently if you go in here when you're not in the raid anymore, but you have cleared it, you have like 60 seconds or something before you're kicked out. So you really can't just stand here. So I'm actually happy I do it right now. Plus, look at this guy, by the way. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at Victor Nefarius. Look at how cool he looks. Look at him. Look at him. Got like a mustache. If I don't target him, does he still follow me? Can I untarget him? Can I click myself? Oh, he keeps following me. Okay, but yeah, look at that mustache, guys. Look at it. Anyway, so the way this apparently functions is the top set over here all the way up until the Nemesis Garb. This is the 8-piece set. This is the tank set. You know, you have plus 10 defense on all of them. Then the second set is going to be the DPS set, which obviously we care much more about. Now, I believe in terms of actual stats, it is not that big of an upgrade, if even an upgrade for most of these parts. But the set bonus, I believe, is absolutely bonkers. So I think that's what we really, really care about. I do, on my other monitor right now, I do have the best in slot list open. So we can kind of like compare what we get and if it's good. So first of all, let's just start off with the... Well, actually, might as well just go with the braces, right? Because that's the first one we have right here. So the Nemesis braces. So these will give me 7 less spell power, bit unfortunate. 2 less spirit, bit unfortunate. But some stamina, some intellect, and some armor. So overall, it is... Actually, I was going to say it's worse, but because it gives me 1% chance to crit... I think I remember reading that like somewhere between like 11 and 15 spell power or something is equivalent to 1 crit or 1 hit. So this thing actually I think is better even in terms of the stats. And then of course we do lose the set bonus when we pick this up, but we start building towards the set bonuses for the Nemesis set, which I of course do want to get, which has been best in slot up until this patch, where obviously now we have Nexramus gear coming in, which is going to be a bit better, but still Nemesis set is still very strong. So this is the DPS version. Let's pick up the Nemesis braces. So this is the gear we have had in our possession, or we've had the option to pick up for an eternity. So this would have been much better than anything we could have gotten previously, and it would have been great, but I kind of like the fact that I saved it up till now, so we can actually, you know, pick everything up as we progress through the Nemesis set right now. Because I'm kind of, yeah, I've kind of decided that Zul'Gurub, I don't really care too much about finishing the entire set. It's kind of old content. I've seen the content, I've played the content, I've enjoyed the content, but I don't see myself grinding for Exalted when there really isn't a reason to grind for Exalted. So we're going to say goodbye to the whole Zandalore Demoniac set. And yeah, we're probably moving into the Nemesis set right now. So next up we have the boots and the gloves. So let's go over to, well, might as well grab the gloves next. So the gloves, let's do a comparison once again. So it does give us crit chance, which I think is a little bit worse than hit chance. So we're downgrading a little bit in that, but it's not that big a deal, I believe. Then we do also get 5 more spell power, so that is nice. We get 3 less intellect, 2 less stamina. So I think overall 1 by 1. Kind of funny to say, actually. The Death Mist reps might actually on their own be better. I mean, we get a lot more armor, which I guess is nice to have, but it's kind of cool to see that the thing I work towards is actually quite a strong armor set. We do also get in all of these pieces, we get a lot of nature resistance, which is of course great for Ankirai, but it's not the main content I want to play anymore. I do still want to go through the Ankirai ruins at some point, so it's going to help out there, but I don't think I'm going to be grinding too much of the actual temple, because I honestly, like, it was very long. It's a bit of a drag, and I don't mind it too much, but I definitely think overall in terms of pacing I did prefer BlackWing Lair, which gives me the Nemesis set, so I'll probably focus a bit more on that. So let's pick up the Nemesis gloves, which are the DPS version, yes. And then finally we have the Draconian boots, which are down here, which, if we do a comparison again, we lose 1 hit chance, we get 1 crit chance. Once again, I believe hit chance is better, but it is what it is. Then also we get 2 more spell power, which is something, and you know, a bit more armor, a bit more spirit, a bit more stamina, a bit less intellect. Once again, I do think Death Mist sandals might be better on their own, but I still think we really want to build towards this set. Now let me actually open up the best in slot list. So if I go to wrists first, it still says, honestly, Nemesis bracers are best in slot. So this right here, and I'm pretty sure this is... Yes, this is with Nexramus content. So for any content that is not Nexramus itself, Nemesis bracers are best in slot. Now the way Nexramus works, and I'll go into way more detail about this when we do get to Nexramus, which probably you guys know about, but I do like to keep these things kind of complete. there is this system where you can get sanctified gear, and the sanctified gear can make you a lot stronger, as like specifically in the next Rammus content, and it's gonna be worse gear overall. But because of like certain bonus systems, it's going to become better when used in next Rammus. So outside of next Rammus, Nemesis bracers are best in slot. So we can now finally say we have, until we play next Rammus, best in slot bracers. Great. I'll put them over here. Then I want to move over to the Nemesis gloves. So we go to hands. And Nemesis gloves are not best in slot. Best in slots are from... They're like 3 different versions. There's obviously the Sanctified one, which I'll ignore for now. But then there's the other one, which is the Cultists hand wraps, which are really, really good. And you can get them from the Karazhan Crypts, which obviously is a dungeon that we have yet to play, but I will play at some point down the line. But these are good. You know, they're just like under the tier. They're not quite top tier, but they're not bad either. And then we, of course, have the boots as well. And once again, it says they are good. They are not a best in slot. Best in slot comes from Ankirai, actually. They're the Doomcaller's foot wraps. And then once again, there is the Sanctified Plagueheart sandals, which you can get in next Rammus. But once again, you know, it is not quite top tier, but it is quite nice. Actually, we haven't picked up the boots yet. So the boots themselves are, of course, right over here. And we can pick them up as well to get the Corrupted Nemesis set, or at least a part of it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and equip it now. And obviously, this is kind of where, you know, the playing a gnome, once again, kind of sucks because you can't really see the set, because a lot of the set will be simply the chest piece. But here we go. We get the braces. Performing this action will make the item non-refundable. That's fine. So we can't even see a change in braces. That is a bit unfortunate. Then we have the Nemesis gloves, which we should be able to see. Yeah, I do think overall I prefer the Death Mist ones. But hey, there we go. We get the Nemesis gloves. They're nice and purple. And then we have the Nemesis boots. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can actually properly see the boots, which I hope are also purple. And they are indeed also purple. So this means that we are now up. If I go to my my gear, we can see that we now have 3 parts of the set, which gives us the 2 set bonus, which is increases the damage of your periodic spells and Felguard pet by 10%. So that means that all of these dots, as far as I'm aware, gain a 10% damage modifier, which I think is pretty big. But the upcoming ones are really cool. I think they really add a lot of damage. So the 4 set bonus says periodic damage from your Shadow Flame, we use. Unstable Affliction, we use. And Curse of Agony spells, we use. And damage done by your Felguard. So 4 different sources have a 4% chance on every tick, as far as I'm aware, to grant the Shadow Trance effect. Which I think... Wasn't Shadow Trance something... Yes, it is the Nightfall proc. The Shadow Trance state reduces the casting time of your next Shadow Bolt by 100%. So we have a much, much, much higher chance of spamming Shadow Bolts because we keep getting the Shadow Trance effect like a lot. At least I think we'll get it a lot, because if we have 4 damage sources hitting constantly and they all hit like once every second or something, that means that, you know, we get like a 4% roll, 4% roll, 4% roll, 4% roll. Like, it's going to trigger quite frequently. Plus, of course, we will also get it from Nightfall, which is our corruption has a 4% chance. Now, Drain Life we don't use too much in instance content, but we'll have 5 sources with their own 4% chance to all be triggering Nightfall to give us more Shadow Balls for more damage, which I think is going to be absolutely beautiful. And then the 6 set bonus, Shadow Ball deals 10% increased damage for each of your effects afflicting the target. So all of those things that we are putting up onto the target, all of those affliction things, all of those dots, are triggering the Shadow Trance, but are also giving us up to a 30% Shadow Bolt boost. So that not only are we getting more Shadow Bolts, we are also getting a higher damage Shadow Bolt. So that is why, you know, like this set looked kind of cool, but my god, the Nemesis set looks really, really nice. So the objective is going to be, and I'm going to try and see if I can find some groups for it. I want to see if I can reserve some more pieces. I want to get to at least the 4 set bonus, Preferably, I want to get to a 6-set bonus. So, I don't know exactly what is coming up in the next video. There are still some things. Let me just quickly, keep you guys up to date as to what my plans are. There's still the Ankirai Ruins I have yet to do, which is the only raid that is left, besides, of course, going next Rammus in the future. So that means there's only... I mean, next Rammus is going to be like one of those things that I'll be moving towards a bit later, because I need to get like the gear and stuff. So it's going to be something that's going to be parked for a bit. So we only have the Ruins right now, which we can currently really play. Then, of course, we also have the Karazhan Crypts, the new dungeon, which also I think I need to work towards, so that it's also kind of semi-off limits. It's a little bit connected to next Rammus. And then we have Thunderan, who we also haven't yet done. So there's only, like, really the Ruins and Thunderan right now that I can really access. And then it's going to become all about the grind towards next Rammus. I'm going to have to start doing more grinding, probably. I'm going to have to start going towards the Arch and Dawn, getting it a couple higher ranks, getting some of these parts. These parts you can get in both Stratholm as well as in Skullman's. So I'm going to have to do those dungeons a bit more. Those dungeons are also going to give me some more coins. The coins are going to allow me to purchase one more piece from this guy, because 4 of the pieces can be bought with the coins. Then 2 more maybe I can get elsewhere. We don't need a full set, I think, but I really want to get up to 6. This for one, for example, like the Nemesis Ropes, they give you 2% hit chance. 2%! We're going to lose some spell power. We get 2% hit chance. So, yeah, I really want to get towards those. Anyway, as you can hear, my energy is back, guys. I'm happy to hear that my energy is back, so I can actually jump back in here. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time with whatever I decide to do. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Okay, I am back again. Yes, I already did my outro, but... just after finishing the recording, I found another pug to do another BlackWing Lair run. This time, I had a lot more brain power to be playing with it, and I quite enjoyed my run. Overall, it seems to be quite a blast-heavy raid, where you really just kind of nuke through it. I guess it's a bit of power creep as well, of course. People have been doing Ankirai, people have been doing a bit of next Rammus, people are, fairly strong, but nevertheless, we did get another clear. And I do have some more loot to talk about. So I did remember, or I kind of forgot actually, that I looted 2 items in the previous run that I was going to talk about, but I forgot in my previous little section, so I'm going to cover them right here. So first of all, we have the Black Book. And the Black Book says, empowers your pet, increasing pet damage by 100% and increasing pet armor by 100% for 30 seconds. I'm not quite sure how strong this is. I don't think it's particularly good. Maybe it has situational use, but... I don't think I'm willing to give 2% critical strike chance or the Zandalarian hero charm up for this. I am ready to be proven wrong. So if if you think I'm wrong, then definitely tell me and I'll reconsider it. But I think it's a cool gimmick item, not something I care about. And the same kind of goes for the Ancient Cornerstone Grimoire, which is an offhand, and it says increases damage, well, spell power by 29. Which is a bit worse, because right now I have plus 37 spell power because of the 23 plus the 14, assuming I'm still reading that correctly. So that puts me up to 37 spell power. And you would think, well, maybe the secondary thing is gonna, bring it across, and it's actually better. And I was thinking for a while, maybe it is. But it says, summon a skeleton that will protect you for 1 minute. And I'm like, what? So, in open world stuff, that might be quite interesting, having a secondary summon to help me out in PvE, like in general open world PvE. That sounds great. But am I realistically going to be summoning a random skeleton in a raid, which is pretty much all the content I have been playing recently? No, I don't think so. So once again, I would love to use it, because it is a different item, and it'd be great. And, obviously I can, click them and see what they look like. So this is a blue book. And, well, this of course doesn't have a look, but yeah, this is a blue book. And I would love to be able to use that. Right now, I've obviously been using this red orb for quite some time. And I would like to have something different. I like the book look. The book look. That's fun to say. Try it, guys. Book look. Book look. All right, anyway, we're done. So, yeah, both feel kind of situational. Not sure I'll ever use them, but I'll hold on to them. And if you guys have any cool things you want to tell me about these, maybe I'm wrong somewhere, definitely do tell me. Then moving on, I just looted this thing, the Shadow Wing Focus Staff. Now, I have pretty much exclusively been using main hand and offhand for the past 200 hours. I think the last time I used a staff was the Roar of the Ancient Sleepwalker, I think it was called, which I got from like the level up raid, level 25 raid, not Sunken Temple, the I forgot the name, like the Sunken, it was also kind of sunken, you know, it was a different thing with like quite a cool aesthetic, which I would love to run again at some point now that I'm a bit more experienced, but that's a different topic. But yeah, I think I haven't run a staff in ages, but this one is a bit interesting. The only thing is that I get plus 24 intellect. That is pretty big. 24 intellect is quite big. 22 spirit also, because the conversion is quite big. 11 stamina is quite big. So everything is quite big, but I lose 41 bonus damage. 41 bonus damage. And I get 1% crit chance, but I get the same crit chance as well from the Azure Song Mage Blade. So is it worth getting 24 intellect, 22 spirit, 11 stamina, and I guess 3 bonus healing, which I don't really care about, but then lose 41 bonus damage? Actually, let me see what the conversion does, okay? I'm kind of curious now to see. So, let's see. Right now, with my own buffs, then I have world buffs active. I do think... I guess I can make the comparison still. Like, it's still the same comparison, right? It's just, like, they're different numbers. This thing is active. So, right now, let's see. With my current gear, I am sitting on a total spell power of exactly 600. Nice comparison. And crit chance will still remain... Well, actually, the crit chance won't remain the same, of course, because the intellect will change it. So, it's going to be 600 damage. And it's going to be 42.43% crit. Now, let's see what happens if I do equip my Shadow Wing Focus Staff, which I actually don't even know what it looks like. Ooh! Oh, I love it! Honestly, this is my favorite piece of gear I've gotten so far. This thing looks like a friggin' spear. Like I'm about to throw it in someone's face and, you know, puncture them. This looks really cool. If I had like a proper gear set with this, dude, I love this look. This is great. Anyway, I'm comparing 600 DPS to 614 and 42.43 to 42.90. Alright, so both my crit rate and my damage are going up. So I guess it is in fact better. And that makes me very happy because I get to use something else. I don't know how long I'll get to use it for. Like I was kind of aiming for this this blade you could get from Chromagus, like Chromagus' Claw, whatever it was called, which was quite interesting. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this staff now, and to actually, I think it's better. I think my math worked there. All right, then moving on. So this is all stuff. This is all like I'm putting like all old stuff right here. Dude, I'm gonna miss the Azure Song Mage Blade. Like, look at this thing. It's cool. Actually, I actually missed the Green Dagger more. The Green Dagger was really cool. But yeah, this one is also, of course, very, very cool. All right. Moving on. We have this piece of gear right here. The Mish Ondari Circlet of the Mind Flayer, which I did soft reserve, and in the end did end up getting, fortunately. And what it does is it gives me 2% crit as opposed to 1% hit. And I think 2% crit probably is worth it. Giving a 1% hit, not sure, but it feels like it's quite alright. It also gives me 2 more spell power, 3 more intellect, 12 more spirit, and 1 more stamina. Now, the only downside is that it is not a set. So it's a standalone item, which means it needs to be a bit more powerful. And we end up losing 23 spell power from the set bonus. So if I do the comparison again, so right now, remember, we are at 614 and 42.9. Let me write that down. So it's 614, 42.9. Now, if I do a quick comparison, I think I'm going to go down when I do equip the Missionary Circlet of the Mind Flayer, which I don't even know what it looks like. Oh my god, this is terrible. Oh no, I love this one so much better. This one is so much better. Oh my god, look at this thing. Look his little cap. Oh my god, that's actually terrible. Okay, please don't let it be better. Actually, I know I soft reserved it and I love it and I want to get better gear, but my god, this thing looks hideous. Hold on. Can I think I can... Wasn't there like a way to hide headgear? If there is, I'm gonna do it. Okay, hold on. So 614 to... Yeah, 600 to 44.97, but we lose 1% hit chance. Guys, I don't know which one is better here. We get a little bit more... Actually, we get... Yeah, we get less spell power by 14. We get 2% more crit chance, which is nice. But we lose 1% hit chance. Not 100% on that. This is so hideous. Hold on. I think if I go to my settings, my options, here we go, and I search for, is it head? No. Face? No. Gear? Hide? Or am I only searching on the control right now? Is it like here? Hide? No. Face? Head? Wait, I think I just looked up the exact same ones. I think there's an option to hide headgear, but it's probably a different name that I'm not thinking about right now. I'll look into that in a little bit, but this looks friggin' hideous. I hate it. I'm gonna go back to the Death Mist mask for now, guys. If it is better, let me know, and I will definitely rock it, but my god, does it look terrible. Anyway, we're not quite done yet. I'll put this one up here. There is also, of course, which I just quickly grabbed, the Draconic Nemesis belt, which I had to go in there quickly and grab it because once again the thing is, you know, shutting down like 60 seconds after entering or something, so you have like a very small amount of time. So I grab it, leave it there, because otherwise I get yeeted back to Stormwind, of course, which is quite far away. But we get the Nemesis belt. Now it is competing with the Mana Igniting Cord, and the Mana Igniting Cord is quite good, but we lose 3 spell power, we lose 2 stamina, and we lose 5 intellect. So that is not the greatest. However, we do get 12 spirit, we do get 4 armor, and we have another piece of the Corrupted Nemesis set, which means that we now get the 4-set bonus, periodic damage from your Shadow Flame, Stable Affliction, and Curse of Agony spells, and damage done by a Felguard have a 4% chance to grant the Shadow Trance effect. So I think overall, even though the Mana Igniting Cord is really good, I think especially because the set bonus, it is going to be much, much better. So let's see if it has a bit of a different look. It should have a bit of a different look right here, probably more pink, purple-ish. And it does. It syncs up with my gloves at least, so that is quite nice. And then finally, look at all this old gear, guys. You know, we're replacing quite some gear. And then finally, we have the Depleted Scythe of Chaos, which is a quest item that drops in a BlackWing Lair, and you can start the quest. I haven't done this yet. Let's see. The scythe is twisted and emanates a strange demonic aura. Despite this, it is brittle to the touch, and you worry it would break on use. It pulls at your energy as if testing you. A ravenous hunger lurks at the back of your mind, just thinking about the scythe. Perhaps someone knowledgeable on demonic artifacts might know more. So bring the staff to Doan Karhan in the Barrens. Oh, my quest log is full. I'll fix it in a moment. But yeah, unfortunately, I once again do have the soft reserve. Sorry, not the soft reserve. The Bastion slot list here, and it specifically is telling me right now that the staff of... Hold on. The Shadow Wing Focus Staff. Actually, wait. It wasn't on the list before, I think. But yeah, it's telling me the Scythe of Chaos, which we get from this thing. It's... Actually, it might still be better. It might still be better than the Shadow Wing Focus Staff. I might still want to go for it. So the Scythe of Chaos. I don't know how difficult it is to get. But this thing starts the quest, of course, and then we go to Dawn in the Barrens again, which I think is the guy we got Metamorphosis from as well. And then potentially we can get a really cool-looking Scythe skin. So I kind of want to get it just for the skin, even, because it's a really, really cool thing. It's a bit of a niche thing where I don't think it's particularly, you know, it's not near Bastion slot anymore because there's just better stuff right now. But I kind of still want to look into grabbing it, which I might put on this video. I'm gonna go to the guy and we'll see if it's like a long quest chain or not. Because, you know, I might as well make it a bit longer again. Why not? We're here anyway. You're here anyway. We're all here. Guys, I just realized that the top of this staff kind of looks like it's a pineapple. Don't you think it's like a very menacing pineapple? Alrighty then, we have made our way back here. Man, I haven't been here in quite some time, but I'm actually, you know, I'm almost excited to be back here. You know, it's a very small tight tangent here, but I do want to quickly talk about it. I have realized that as much as I'm enjoying this raiding arc, guys, don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying getting to see all the raids and experiencing all the bosses and all of that good stuff. I do have to say, a part of me kind of misses that, like, magical exploration part that I had, you know, like, all those hours that, you know, like, the initial part of the series, like, it feels very distant to me now, because obviously we've been going for over a year now. It's been a very long thing, and, you know, the pace has been slowing down. Everything just feels like it's kind of, like, ramping up to the end, which is fine. It's fun. It's fun to finally feel like, you know, I'm putting down this, like, complete series, and it's going to be done, and that's kind of fun to me, but I also feel like I kind of miss the exploration. Like, I miss walking into a map for the first time and being like, oh, what is going on here? Oh, is there a quest NPC there? Like, I have a quest list here, but I'm like, I've not really looked at these quests. Like, they've kind of lost my interest a little bit. Like, my entire mind just been like raiding. I almost do nothing else, and it feels like it's a separate part of the game almost. But I actually think I preferred the leveling experience generally over the raiding experience, even though raiding has been super fun. And that's also kind of like a little bit why my retail series has been paused. It probably will continue. I kind of don't want to do it, but I just realized 2 WoWs at the same time. No, I gotta finish one WoW, then I go into a different WoW. That's the way we go. I can like a different kind of game on the side. Maybe it's coming up soon. Don't know yet. But 2 WoWs doesn't work. But yeah, because that game really focuses a lot on the end game, like, it's pushing me towards the end game, and I kind of just enjoy that, like, little, like, slower sense of progression, exploration. That's just really fun to me, and yeah, I just want to get that off my chest, because it's something that's been on my mind for a bit, where I've just been feeling like my enthusiasm for the game is not less. It's just like I only care about going for a new raid and looking for gear right now, and the rest has kind of been subsided when I kind of missed that, you know. Anyway, let's go talk to this guy. Let's go talk to Carhead. And I think last time I was here, I was unlocking Metamorphosis, which we really haven't been putting to use. Like, we've not done any tanking, and I don't think we will do tanking, because Warlock tank apparently is quite mediocre. So we'll probably just stick to DPS. So the depleted scythe. This is certainly a curious artifact you found, DK. I believe that this staff might be saved, though it will require some effort. It might even be an excellent candidate for wrapping up some unfinished business we have. So, Soul of Mischief. Looking at the curious scythe you've brought in, I believe we need to provide its souls in order to restore it. Let's start with imps. I have an associate in the Eastern Plaguelands near Northdale that may be able to help you. Go away, LFUI. Mention my name and he should be more amenable. I'll meet you in Light Hope Chapel after you are done. So convince Zirath of Northdale in Eastern Plaguelands to help you gain a Soul of Mischief and use it on the depleted Scythe of Chaos. I am going to go on the assumption here. He said something about effort. This probably will not be the only quest we have. We'll probably have more quests as we progress. So I'm thinking I'll probably do a standalone video on this entire quest chain, because I kind of still do want to get it, even if it's just for the look, even if I don't use it too much. It's going to be something, you know, it's going to be different. It's going to be open world again. It's not going to be raiding. It's going to be something else. So people who really enjoyed watching that content, you know, we're going to probably not do a raid video. We'll do a Soul of Mischief next. So thank you so much for watching. I'll do an outro once again, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye, guys.